What's up, homies? Welcome back to another episode of the Heroes Reforged podcast. On today's episode, we have a fantastic guest, one of our dear friends, one of our dear internet friends turned in real life friend.
It happened.
True.
It happened.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
We have in our presence a makeup artist, Twitch streamer, chemist, full-time content creator, werewolf enthusiast, and just an overall fantastic artist and a real inspiration. CourtneyQuarantine is joining us today. Hi, Court.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here. This is so cool.
So excited.
This is so cool. This is like the coolest thing ever. I'm absolutely geeking out.
Welcome, CourtneyQuarantine.
Thank you.
Tell the people a little bit about yourself if they've never really seen you, or
Sure.
And then
like give us like a short little intro.
because
Sure.
we might have some viewers right now just being like, "Oh, I would not expect this type of professional."
Yeah,
To
because generally you're not in our wheelhouse of people that would be expected to like talk
Animation,
to us. We're
comic
like
books,
yeah.
you know.
comic book animation nerds, movie
Yeah.
film buffs. But tell us a little bit about yourself and how cool you are.
Oh my goodness. A small task. Well, hi, I'm CourtneyQuarantine. I'm not sure which camera to look at. This is
All of them.
All of them.
All the way. That one's yours.
All the
right
one
there.
on the very far end.
The far end one is yours.
Well, I'm CourtneyQuarantine. Like they said, I am a full-time content creator. I am a makeup artist. I am a streamer. I do make makeup, which is really fun. That is something that I've gotten into in the last couple of years that I really enjoy. I used to be a photographer. I love like videography. All of the creative stuff that I did before, I kind of apply to what I do now, which is mostly makeup content and creating looks. I got into a little bit of like, not technically special effects makeup, although I'm really excited about that. Last year, when I started doing like clown makeup, it just opened up the door for wanting to do demon makeup and so on and so forth. So anywho, mostly
Grimace makeup.
Grimace makeup, it's true.
Shrek
It's true.
makeup.
Shrek makeup, it's true too, you know? But yeah, that's a little bit about what I do. I'm a huge fan of y'all, so it is kind of hilarious to be sitting here and being like, I'm a fan and also, but I do think our worlds kind of like overlap in like film and even like comics and like different medias, because makeup and all of that stuff and aesthetics is in all of that. So I feel like there's more of us than you think.
It's
honestly.
a cornerstone of filmmaking.
100%.
Makeup design, all that stuff.
Yeah.
100%.
And and I want to talk a bit about how our paths initially crossed, and then we'll talk about like because Courtney's correct. There's definitely a crossover there. We went to an Arcane event, and Abby couldn't make it, and I had a +1, and I was like, well, Courtney I know loves Arcane.
I screamed about it, yes.
The Netflix show was like, do you want to come? She was like, oh my god, and it was awesome. It was
I
great.
freaked out. I nearly cried. I walked in and immediately, like when we saw the art, I was like, I gotta be cool right now, because if I start crying immediately, I get her.
And the
I can't do this.
and the cosplayers,
Yeah.
and but that's a great like Venn diagram of like the typical nerdy shit that we are into.
Yeah.
Which is the animation world or just filmmaking in general. But then really how vital like the aesthetic of that show is to that story.
100%.
The way the characters are designed, the way the characters move, the way the characters look, and to the point where the design also includes makeup. And it's stuff we might not ever even clock.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've replicated some looks.
Yes.
And stuff.
Inspired by, replicated to a degree. But I think even some of the things, like you said, like that you wouldn't clock it, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So like sometimes when people are like, oh, well, I don't think about the makeup, I'm like, that's actually kind of a good thing sometimes, because sometimes when you notice makeup, you're like, God, their foundation doesn't match, or like, oh Lord, like what happened here? It takes you out of the immersion. So I think with good makeup comes good film and shows and, design and so on and so forth, because sometimes you're not noticing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talk about the visual effects all the time because we did visual effects for so many years. And when you don't notice that something is a CG composite or whatever, you're that much more immersed. And then you see later on, if they have like a behind the scenes thing, like that tree, that building was fake. I would have never even been able to tell.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So I feel like that's the same thing with like makeup and costume design. The more immersive and the more sort of flawless it looks, you're not going to call it out. You're not even going to notice it.
Exactly.
I think our paths first crossed a few years ago at this point when I saw CourtneyQuarantine, like makeup artist, commenting on some stuff that Adam was doing. Yep. And then I saw like Adam replying back, and I was at first I was like, who is this person? Is there confusion?
Like,
yeah. I was like, is this
Do they
like,
know where they are?
yeah,
What's going on?
I'm like,
Is she
do they,
lost?
I'm like, did she confuse Adam for like a Czech makeup influencer? Like, is there like a fashionista? Oh,
Yes,
there must
that's
be
actually what happened.
There must be another more famous Adam Lavick in the fashion world. That she's like, oh my God, I'm
My
a big
secret
fan.
identity.
Yeah.
And Adam's like, yeah, great. No, but then friended Courtney on the internet. And then also at one point, Courtney came through for me in a big way for a holiday. I'll talk about this all the time. For a Christmas gift.
I don't know this story.
Oh, right.
I reached
Do I
out
know
to
this
you.
story? Do we know this story?
I don't know.
No.
I think so.
Oh.
I'm sure that I told you, Adam, too. Because when it happened, I was like, hey, guys, Courtney got me the hookup.
I
This
totally
is awesome.
forgot about this.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But there was a Christmas where I was like, I'm a legendarily bad gift giver. And
Not
so-
anymore. Not anymore.
I know.
You
I
have
know,
gotten
I
so
know.
much better.
I appreciate that. It's
Yeah.
because it's the most stressful thing in the world for me. I hate it. Because my fallback excuse is that for 1 year when I was 5 years old, my family was Jehovah's Witnesses and they don't celebrate any holidays,
Okay.
birthdays, Christmas, anything.
Okay.
And then after we left the church, because my mom was like, actually, I don't like the way they view the dynamic between men and women. And I was like, all right,
Yeah,
Mom,
yeah.
good for you.
Legit, all right.
But we left this church, and for years after, my mom still liked how they don't celebrate holidays. I think that's nice.
Ooh.
And so
I
was
like how I
okay.
don't have to celebrate your birthday, Hector.
I like how I don't have to buy you
God.
shit.
I don't have to buy you
Somebody.
shit.
Because the important thing is family togetherness. Anyway, I'm divorcing your father.
My
sorry,
family
clap.
did that too, but we
A little
weren't
bit.
Jehovah's Witnesses. So
What's that?
My family did that too, but we weren't Jehovah's.
Right, just like
we were just broke.
Bro,
dude.
we were just
look,
broke.
dude.
We were broke
yeah.
witnesses. We
Yeah,
were
we were
witnesses to
broke
our
witnesses.
We're gonna
to
do something
poverty.
together and build,
Yeah.
character. It's like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did that
Oh
to
my
you.
God.
Yeah,
We had a
absolutely.
Charlie Brown Christmas tree. That
Yeah,
little,
yeah, the little
rinky dink.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm a terrible gift giver, or at least used to be. And so, in an effort to try to get a really good gift for Abby, I was like, I want to get her some really good makeup. I messaged Courtney like, hey, you know all that is good about makeup. Can you make some recommendations?
I sent you a book.
Courtney was like, I got you
book.
this mascara, this eyeliner, this foundation, this. And I was like,
You fucking know the names?
dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
now
Wow.
I do. And I got a kit, and it was a very successful
Nice.
Christmas.
Wow.
Because
okay.
Abby was like, hey, I think I know some of this stuff. This is good quality shit. And I was like,
Interesting.
What can I say?
Interesting.
So
Wait,
anyway,
but the most important question is, did you wrap it with comic book paper?
yeah.
I probably did. Yeah, just to
There you go.
just to
Attaboy.
mislead her, to make her think like this is going to suck.
This is going to be horrible.
Something you don't like.
You
I got you volume 1 of
I got you. Yeah,
something.
yeah. I got you.
You went to
Ant-Man
the
comic
dollar
for
store
Christmas.
and bought all the makeup at the dollar store.
I would not have let you do that.
So-
Stuff myself.
Anyways, cut to years later. Now we're able to hang out with Courtney in person and share all of our geeky passions and stuff.
Yeah, it's really wonderful.
One thing that I thought would be really fun is because it also just happened to line up. The last episode we did of this podcast, right at the end, we started talking about Spider-Man's costume, and we were like, actually, is it the best superhero costume of all time? Actually, what is the best superhero costume? So we started like, and then Adam was like, Hector, this could be its own episode. Shut up. We need to, or maybe it was you, Augustine. You're like, this
I
could
said
be-
that.
you
Yeah,
said
yeah,
This
yeah.
could be its entire episode.
It's usually one of us
Yeah.
being like, Hector, we gotta end.
Stop.
You gotta reel
It's been
it
an
in.
hour and a half, Hector.
We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, you were like, Hector, wrap it up. I was like, Ghost Riders is also a pretty good look. You were like, we have to end this.
Yeah.
So I figured with Courtney on that she could also contribute some opinions about this because I think that it's a fascinating topic and there's a bunch of different angles to tackle it. But I just want to get into it. So we have the three of us picked 3.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear.
So we would love to also get your feedback and your
Yes.
takes on it or whatever. And then I also hit you up with some, and you've got some good picks that might be coming out of left field, but they're good.
Oh,
listen.
interesting. Wait, let's set the parameters though, Hector.
Okay.
Are we doing? We're doing costumes or overall design of characters? Like
Good question.
Beast.
Right.
Beast costume is Chonies.
I understand.
Like,
I would say
that's what he's wearing.
But Beast, his look still includes his fur, his natural body.
Right.
So I would say like a character's like naturalness or whatever still is part of the look. Okay.
Okay.
I would argue.
That changes my list then, because I thought we were doing costumes.
Shit.
I thought we were doing something they could take off at the end of the day.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Really?
Oh, that
Yeah.
changes everything.
Right?
I was doing more makeup and just
Which is great
Okay.
too.
makeup
Which is
on
great
my own,
too.
Because I could talk. I mean, we could.
That's
talk
why
about the
we brought
intricacies.
you. Great.
We could talk about how like makeup is shot, how it's shown. Like,
Yes.
I could talk about specific stills from movies that literally, when I saw in the theater and or like at home, it was like ding, and my brain was like, I'm gonna think about that for the rest of my life.
Okay, let's start off with that one because that's like a core memory in like film for you then, right?
Yeah. We start off with those?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what was that for you? What was that moment? Follow-up question after you answer that, was that like the spark of things for you in the makeup and design world? So start off with that.
What started it all? Yeah, that's a big question. There were some recent times in movies and film that I feel like it was like, oh my goodness, that particularly with like, I think we were talking about like superhero vibes.
Yeah.
But like across film as a whole, it's hard to narrow down. I think there's a common theme in the stuff that I really enjoy. It usually has some kind of like grit or like grunginess or like a goth leaning kind of tone under the like umbrella of like alternative. This is why the Batman was so fun for me, because that smeared eyeshadow was fantastic.
Yeah.
But and I think even like as a kid, I don't really know what started my love for makeup, because I visually saw like, you know, women putting on lipstick. When I saw that in real life, I was like, oh my God. But then I remember having like pigments and like smearing them all over my face. But like even cartoons and shows, or like Van Helsing is one that I've talked about so many times. Because
I had no idea.
Dude, Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale. That movie is, I need to rewatch it, admittedly, but it is like a good time.
And like even, I feel like I'm talking about like all the films that have a lot of hot people now, but like The Mummy, like the way that like they did their makeup to look a little sweaty or to glisten a certain way or to like have a little smudged eyeliner. Like there's usually smudged eyeliner in looks that I love like that. But to narrow it down, I feel like is an impossible task. But I do remember a recent time where I was like, oh my God. It was also from the Batman when Zoe Kravitz is like walking down the hall. She has this short wig on and she blinks down, and the way that they show that glitter, like I was like,
interesting.
And it was just so, it captivated me in a way that like I thought about that specific scene. I think about it all the time. Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
And so there's like,
That's one of my picks is Catwoman.
Okay.
For best superhero costume.
Yeah.
And I sort of cheated a little bit and went like
Michelle Pfeiffer.
across the history.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like, Michelle Pfeiffer's a big part of it.
100%.
Iconic look that I think
Yes.
almost transcended a superhero costume and became like a pop culture. Like everybody thinks of that stitched look and and she just like crushed it.
Yep.
But even this very sleek, this is from the new Batman Adventures, the sort of Catwoman redesign animation with Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz's look, the way she had her little like mask thing.
Yes.
And I think maybe cinematically, probably the most uninteresting is probably the Anne Hathaway one, where her like Catwoman ears were her little like goggles that she had up, but still a great look overall.
And her makeup was still crisp, and there's usually a cat eye involved. There's usually eyeliner involved. I actually, I get this question a lot because I wear spikes a lot. The Crow is one that people really love. I hadn't seen The Crow, so when people were like, oh, I have seen it. I have now since seen it. Don't worry. When I first started wearing spikes like that, people were like, oh, clowns. And I was like, no. And they were like, oh, it must be The Crow. And I was like, no, I actually just really like eyeliner. And then when I watched that, I was like, oh, wow. And when I first, I mean, it was a couple years ago now, when I first watched the original Crow, I was like, oh my God. And like in the mirror and like, oh my God. That was one of those times that I was like, even just like the view of the vanity. And that's something too that in movies and film and shows, when you see someone's vanity, there's something really, it's so personal to the character. Or even when someone's like carrying around a compact, or there's like, you know, any kind of like mirror usage, like when they open the mirror and you see the lip, but you see it from back here. It's just like those kinds of shots.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh, they're really lovely.
So the Catwoman eye is one of the most recent ones. Can you think of like a classic one, or maybe one that people don't normally think about?
Great
Or
question.
that like is your favorite that might not necessarily be everybody else's favorite?
Slips under the radar a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, because I always have some weird, and people are like, really? And not to be like, I'm quirky and weird, but like,
what?
Yeah.
Or you can think about it,
Yeah,
and
let me think about it.
we can
because
circle around
that
to
is-
it.
That is, I'm like,
See, because I really want to know, because so something like makeup, which is so foundational to movies and cinema and what everything has been and was, is so integral, but I never really think about it, you know? And I think one of the biggest examples was there's this old black and white movie that I don't know if you know this story, but there's a black and white movie of a witch, and she transforms on camera.
yeah.
And the way they make her transform on camera is by shifting the color of the light that they display on her face. Do you know what I'm talking
Makeup.
about?
It's makeup.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I literally was thinking about this on my way here today because the way that makeup has changed in film because of what we've been filming on is incredible. And I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it is, again, it goes back to like the makeup being an art form.
Absolutely.
And it being, you know, about self-expression and about the artist view and so on and so forth, like so many things. But it is like, it's fascinating.
It's a special
I'm
effect.
so glad that you brought that up.
It's literally a special effect.
It's
when
literally
when it's done right.
it's like one of the first special effects that they could do
Mm-hmm.
on people, right? Where it's just figuring out like how you could change somebody's face and how it appears on camera.
And they went from like blue lighting to red lighting.
Yeah, and then it like changes her face, and she's so scary too. Like that witch transformation is so scary.
But it was all, wasn't it like a black and white film?
Yeah.
It was a black
all
and white.
practical.
People couldn't even tell that a light change happened.
Yeah.
It
Absolutely.
was just, you know.
I was just watching Red Eye the other night with Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams.
Oh my God, I haven't seen that stuff. It's so good.
And it's really good.
Yeah.
And there's a point where you get an insight into who his character is, and it's the combination of the lighting, and I think the way they also did some of his makeup.
Yes.
Like the lighting changes, and he changes his angle, and it relights his face in a whole different way. And you're like, this motherfucker is a serial killer.
Oh, he evil.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really
Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm so glad that you brought that up too, because it's like even like the Kubrick stare of like staring through the brows. But it is like when you add a little bit of contour in certain places, when you add a little bit of a shadow, like you are adding an expression and a dimension, but it's giving more to maybe something that's a little more sinister and or you know, just the character as a whole. But yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah, like Jack Torrance in The Shining.
Yeah.
Lord.
The way he starts to look and his eyes are baggy, and you can tell that he's got a little bit more. It's amazing.
Question: His eyebrows in that movie, real or not real? Do you know?
Jack Nicholson?
Yeah,
Are they real?
Because they look so
they're
menacing.
real, dude.
Is that
They
his
look
real
real.
eyebrows?
Those are Jack Nicholson's
like
real
those are his
eyebrows.
real eyebrows.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy.
I would say yes.
If you
would say
have you
real.
seen Smile 2? Because his son Ray Nicholson is
Yeah,
in it.
has it.
Has the same
Has like a young Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson face. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smile 2, that one fucked me up.
That one rips.
I haven't
Both
seen
of the
it.
smiles.
I haven't seen it. I know.
We gotta do a movie night.
I know.
It's amazing.
I know. We got to do.
I mean, speaking of Nicholson too, like his Joker makeup. When I was a
Revolutionary.
kid,
Okay.
because it like added an extra bigger
Prosthetic,
smile
yeah.
that he, even when he wasn't smiling, was so creepy.
It was full time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Heath Ledger, like that.
Oh, dude.
Which, like
Richard
that,
Collodion was flying off the fucking shelves in 2008.
Yes, it was.
the like that type of purposeful messy when it's done. That is one that like I think when I was watching, I was like, oh wow, like his makeup and his hair and like all this stuff, but it leans so much further into the character, because if he had like perfected
Sure.
makeup and there was not a flaw, you'd be like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, that could give a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like to have like smeared lipstick and smudged and just all these things and a little bit sweaty, and it's just it's so fun to even think about, like, I wonder what exact product that is. That's my favorite game. Sometimes when I'm
Yeah.
watching like
What are they
shows or
using?
television, I'm like, I wonder if that's this lipstick from something. And I'm like, I Google it and I'm like, yes, I was right.
Yeah, I feel like Joker for me was like the most I ever got into trying to like reverse engineer what they used.
Yeah.
Because that was like the big obsession of that year, and figuring out how to like do the scarring and all that
You
stuff.
dressed up.
I did.
Look, right?
I went to the Screen
Yeah.
Awards back when those were a thing, and I did the Joker.
I need to
Yeah.
see pictures if I haven't already.
I'll
I feel
find
like I
some.
maybe
think I
have, but
some.
like I need to.
He scrubbed them from the internet. They're
Yeah,
fine.
no, but and I think what also helped was the fact that Heath Ledger did that makeup himself.
Yes. Oh,
That was a huge
When-
part of it.
when people
That's
do
right, I
their
forgot
own
about that.
makeup for
Yeah.
stuff like that, that is
Yeah.
another thing
Yeah.
that just it makes me feel like tingly. Like I love that. It gives a sometimes more personal like intertwining of the person into the character and doing the whatever it may be. And, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I
That and his cherry lip balm, so he constantly was doing
Yes.
the lipping.
That was crazy.
That's why he did that.
Yeah.
He put cherry lip balm on there
Yeah.
so it was tasty.
Yeah.
some lip balm is not good. Some,
Yeah. This is what I love about hanging out with Courtney, is that like she appreciates the history and the importance of makeup as an art form. I learned about some of that. Like I forget what we were chatting about, or
Who knows,
maybe
100
you
different
were-
things at once.
Maybe you were doing a stream or something and you were talking about it, and then I put a comment or something and you were like, yeah, and it goes back to the history of, you know, wealthy people had access to it, and then it became more available to everybody. Like all that sort of stuff that I think when I hear Courtney talk about makeup, it reminds me of how I feel about comic books, because I have used comics as a way to help me understand world and U.S. history as well. Like when I think about different decades in U.S. history, I think about the comics first, and then I'm like, what was happening in the U.S.? All right, and think about that first, and then I go, what was happening in the world? All right, so it's cool.
It's all very interconnected. And
Yeah.
that's what I think makes it like even more of a joy, and like, not to be like life is worth living, but like kind of like it really is.
Life is worth living.
You know what I mean? Like it just, I go to sleep thinking about this stuff. I wake up thinking about it, and it has given me a lot of like purpose and joy in life. But to have it intersect with other things is really cool, and to be able to sit here and like communicate that with people, it's just man, it's like the best.
Now I'm just sitting here thinking about all the movies that I've seen where there's been like phenomenal makeup.
Yep.
Yes, please tell me. I want to know like all of your favorites.
That's
Who'd
a
you say?
great
The
pick.
monster.
That's a good pick.
Even all of the characters in Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think of Uma Thurman's black forehead look? Of
Uma Thurman? You mean Charlize Theron?
sorry, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I get them.
Uma
I get
Thurman,
them.
Poison Ivy, Batman and Robin. Also great
I'm
makeup.
like,
Charlize Theron's black forehead, short hair.
Furiosa.
I'm gonna say something, and you're all gonna gasp. I haven't seen the movies.
Oh,
but I do know. I knew.
That's no problem. That's fine.
I know. And I knew this was gonna happen at some point, or multiple times. I was gonna be like, "Hey guys, haven't seen that one also."
Hey guys, I had Courtney and Courtney's boyfriend KJ over to watch Spider-Verse. Courtney had never seen Into the Spider-Verse. We saw it in 3D.
All right, well
I think
then-
KJ had seen it. But I
AJ had
showed
seen
you
it.
Spider-Verse
Yes.
for the first time.
I have a habit, and I will admit live on television that I do a thing sometimes where I will not watch something because I am afraid that it will not either live up to an expectation, or I'm like, I have to leave it in the mystery because I'm maybe not ready to see it. And then
or
unfortunately,
you'll get obsessed with it.
and I get obsessed with it. Oh, do I get obsessed with it? It happened with Arcane. I was like, yeah, I'll see it. And then I watched it and I was like, oh my God.
I'm sure that did not happen with I Know What You Did Last Summer.
All right, moving on. Augustine's next pick. Now, you said you're going to change your picks based on our criteria.
Right.
But one of the picks you had, which I thought was very interesting for best look or best costume or whatever, from the world of comics, but also technically was played by Woody Harrelson in a movie.
Yeah.
You picked Carnage.
I picked Carnage, bro.
Ooh, yes.
Look at this look.
Yes.
That is a good
Give me
one.
that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Talk about why Carnage is your pick. Why not Venom? I feel like Venom is the more iconic.
Venom is iconic in the way that
iconic.
obviously going from black suit Spider-Man to to Venom, I think was super rad. I liked that Venom looked very gloopy.
Yes.
I liked that Carnage brought that evil, insane
Looks like blood.
energy that looks like blood, but also he has sharp edges. He has weapons.
Demonic.
He really kind of changes the way his face looks.
So you like demons?
I do.
Okay.
So I guess I do like demons.
Do you have any other favorite demons?
Hellboy, Etrigan.
I grew
Damn,
up very
I'm-
Catholic, so I wouldn't say I'm not Catholic anymore. But
Oh, I was like, oh Lord, here we go.
yeah, he's not trying to go to hell.
no, not at all. I don't think I have any favorite demons, but I do like this look.
Cool.
I think this look is
very
really cool. It's I think it was a good juxtaposition to Venom in the 90s. It's a super 90s look too, because he's like Mr. Edgelord, kind of like knives and blood and like everything a little 13-year-old boy was kind of looking for in something cool and interesting. And granted, this was at the time of what else is coming out? Like Street Sharks and Biker Mice from Mars and like, all these kind of like
Extreme stuff.
Gargoyles? Was that?
Gargoyles.
Yeah.
Oh,
Desdemona?
oh, yeah.
That's more okay, right, bringing it back to the goth. I love that. Yeah.
Spawn?
Yeah, it's a little Spawny.
It is.
But
It
there's
is.
just I think it's kind of like an offshoot of the greatest superhero costume, which is Spider-Man, I think. But bringing it to like little boys who just want to look at cool stuff on comic book pages. You know?
Where it's like it's dangerous, but it's not too dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. It's
What
scary.
is that? What am I looking
It's
at?
scary, but it's not too scary.
Is this blood? Mom, it's a symbiote.
Right,
What?
right.
Okay.
Exactly. And also just I guess just the psycho energy that
Yes.
Carnage brought of the 90s.
I like that. I like that viewpoint too. If it's like you look at it and it's kind of scary, and I would say like kids across the board, like especially myself included, a lot of the times when I saw scary stuff when I was little, I got obsessed with it.
Yes.
Not in a like.
Oh, cool. I'm not the only sicko here.
No, literally, and it was just like I almost like was enamored by a lot of the stuff that I saw because it was just like, And like this is completely off topic and a little bit random, but did you ever have the books Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those I would take from the library and hoard and like skip all of it. I would not bring them back. And
Where the hell are all our
literally,
books?
I would get in trouble. They'd be like, Courtney,
you've
got to bring those back. I'm like, that they freak me out and I must have them. Like, it was just like, I love those books.
You have
So
30
anyway.
copies in your room.
I kept those.
Build a tent out of them.
Well, speaking of the 90s, let's talk about this boy's mullet right here. This guy, this is one of Adam's picks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a very interesting superhero costume and character that he picked, because you didn't pick his first costume, Robin, the Boy Wonder, the first sidekick in superhero stories. You picked his adult persona, Nightwing. This is Dick Grayson, Richard Grayson. Nightwing with that sleek little look. He's had a bunch of looks, including some that I don't think are very fashionable at all.
Yeah. Those 70s looks.
But I like this one.
Read
I
the
like this
filth.
one. But here, hand that over to Adam. Adam, talk about why you picked Nightwing as one of your best costumes.
I think my massive appreciation for his 90s ice hockey player mullet is a big part of it. It's very
I'm trying to replicate that, dude.
very Wayne Gretzky.
Wow, yeah.
It's very 90s. I think the big thing with this character is I love the simplicity of the suit.
Yeah.
I like that it's just
All black.
basically all black with a giant bird on it.
Blue.
Yeah.
And even though the silhouette might not be super recognizable, I feel like even if you didn't know who Nightwing was, you could look at this and go, this is part of the Bat family. You might be like, is that Robin? Like, you could already kind of tell what kind of character that is. And I think also Dick Grayson just had such a fun persona. Also, it's such a weird like build. He's got such a big chest and then these like little stick legs.
Yeah.
Did not
Also,
skip shoulder day.
Yeah. Hockey on the top and ninja on the bottom.
That's that Bruce Timm design.
Yeah. But I really
you
like
might have a couple more of those coming your way, Adam.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I almost picked.
I also really like the red variant too.
Yeah.
Like some of the was it
has
New
the red look?
52?
New 52.
Or Rebirth where they did the red version of
2011.
that. Very like Chris O'Donnell Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
But I like it a lot.
I almost picked from that same notion of like simplicity. I almost picked Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
That costume, like the big pointy ears, and like everything is just Batman, but like boiled down to the essence. Very sleek, all black,
I'm just
red
gonna tell you
symbol.
this now, Hector. I might change one of mine.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to be bringing out the examples anyway, but absolutely, let's change it.
yeah.
Next one I want to talk about is this one. Also, might be a little left field for you guys, but
Did any of us have the same ones? I'm sorry to interrupt, but did
I
we
texted
have-
everybody to make sure there's no overlap.
Yeah.
But
okay.
also, nobody had any of the same ones, which is very.
I'm
impressive,
shocked
which is very-
because I have basic bitch answers. So.
No, don't do that to yourself.
I do.
Don't do that to yourself.
I
No.
want to get through these, and then I also brought a couple that Courtney mentioned.
Also, in my defense, Hector texted me at like midnight.
yeah.
And you weren't up? What were you doing? Hello?
No, I was like, I'll figure it out tomorrow.
Okay, that's fair.
And then I texted you in the morning. Here's one that I thought was when it came out in the TV show and when it came out in the comics years before. As soon as it came out in the comic books, comic book fans were like, "This is the slickest design of a suit that we've seen in superheroes in forever." And when we got to see our man Oscar Isaac do Moon Knight, but specifically the Mr. Knight outfit, this look is clean, bro. And then when he takes a jacket off and he rolls up his sleeves,
That's the look.
dude, and you can see
That's it.
like his skin tone. You haven't seen it? That's okay. Where are you?
Because it looks too perfect.
It's okay. It's fine.
And I love Oscar Isaac so bad. Bad.
I just love this look. He has his little like beat sticks that he has and stuff. But yeah, the look that when he takes his little coat off and he still has this little vest.
I do know what
it's
you're
a
talking
little
about,
proper vest. And when he's in this persona, his character has a British accent. It's all just like, I love this look so much.
He looks like a gangster.
Dude,
like,
it's
like
yes.
a mobster.
He first showed up in the comic books and he would be drawn sitting in a chair like this, and you're like, that dude beats ass. Like you're like, this character. Like I mean, Moon Knight. The original Moon Knight design is also really cool, but it's very like Batman but white.
Yeah.
Like it's very cool and sexy and very goth.
Yes.
But this look where it's like he looks like a gangster with the white gloves. Again, rolls up his sleeves and you can see his forearm just up to here, and then he has his vest on and he's like, I need this from you. You're like, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Hector, are you
Say
a forearm
less.
guy? You like
I think I'm a forearm guy, dude.
I was like, oh, okay.
You show
That's
me a
an
picture of
interesting thing to know.
Popeye, I'll go goo goo gaga. Wow.
How high?
Yowza.
wow.
Awooga. Ooh. I am what I am. That's all
You know
I'm saying.
what? Yeah, that's fair.
Robin Williams in that Popeye movie with those big prosthetic,
Stop.
the big hairy arms. Oh my
Too
goodness.
hot. Too hot.
Oh my god.
Too sexy.
All right.
God.
The next one for Augustine.
Yeah.
Your pick, I know, would also be a character that Courtney is obsessed with.
Interesting.
And like, but we're beginning to dip your toes into the obsession. Not quite there yet.
Okay.
But when some announcements were made, you were like, what is this? What's happening? What's going on? I want to know more about this character. And I was like, I got you.
Oh, my heart is racing. I'm excited.
Yeah. This is
my basic bitch answer.
Should come as no surprise.
This is my basic bitch answer. Dr. Doom.
Look at this. Look at Courtney.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Ascending.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this look.
And please talk about it.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Well, listen. Okay, so at first glance, Dr. Doom could be just seen as like a dude wearing armor, right?
Silly, goofy.
When you get behind
goofy.
the psychology of why he wears the armor, all of his insecurities, all of his what do you call them? Traumas specifically.
Yes.
Like the reason why he wears this suit is deeply important, and then for him to become one of the most massive threats, but non-threats, but threats to the world and the universe.
Brother.
This character and that design instantly becomes iconic.
It is an iconic villain look.
Absolutely iconic.
I think that he's the closest to like, I mean, even though Dracula is a character in Marvel Comics, this look is very Eastern European, like gothic. Like just this dude lives in a castle.
Yeah.
It's that look when you read
this
it.
dude has royal subjects.
Oh my God. But it's also
Augustine being one of them.
it's also so comic booky because he's like a knight in shining armor, very medieval, but then it's Iron Man and it's high tech and it's, so this look
it's
is
Iron Man and Doctor Strange all in one. All in one go.
Lord.
Which I think is crazy for somebody to be so powerful. And then also just want to be like, but leave me alone. Like, I won't mess with you if you don't mess with me.
Yeah.
But then he goes and messes with everybody. And
and here we
Dr.
are.
Doom has been and will be one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. And the fact that he has the most, I believe, iconic looks of any superhero or villain
look,
I think is just goes to, just leans into the mystique and the reason why he's one of the dopest.
Mystique.
great. Oh, Mystique.
I was going to say Mystique
That's
too.
almost a cheat because she could be anybody.
Yeah, right. That's ultimate
But
power.
the makeup look,
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. We'd be here for 3 hours.
let's talk about it.
We can talk about it. But also, I want to note that you were talking about villains.
Yes.
Like,
they count.
villains, yes, of course. Like, villain character design and villain makeup.
Top tier.
And psychologically, I think there's also, I mean, look, back up a sec. I think there's a reason that a lot of villains, especially when you look from like a childhood perspective, and our childhood was full of villains that were like in Disney movies. And I think there's a real easy to understand reason why a lot of those Disney villains, Adam didn't necessarily grow up with some of them, but maybe some of them. A lot of them are like queer coded. When you get to like Ursula and the Little Mermaid, people were like inspired by Divine, a drag queen, like, and that because of that, I think that the connection that there is that villains oftentimes are more free than a hero character. And villains, when you're free and you're expressing yourself and who you actually are, and they kind of know who they are, and they have that that freedom to present themselves in a way that like normal society wouldn't. Bruce Wayne doesn't wear makeup, but the Joker's like, I am wearing this because this is who I am. And even with that little justification in the beginning of the movie, it's like, he wears it. It's like war paint. Like some goon is saying that. It's really like Joker's like, I'm an agent of chaos and anarchy, and this is my real face. It was almost weird to see Heath Ledger without the makeup, but he still had the scars. When he was in disguise as the cop. It was almost like scarier
100%.
to see him like that. You know what I mean?
100%.
Than the way he is with his green hair. And so I think a lot of the times villains represent in comic book stories like this more freedom, and sometimes it veers into the too dangerous, and that's part of like the the villainous. But like there's a whole side to it.
I saw Courtney light up when we talked about Mystique.
Yes.
Let's get into the Mystique.
Talk about a character who she is herself. She knows who she is.
Well, that's definitely one of the times that when I saw that on screen, I was like, how did they do that? Like, it's just like in the context. And I don't even think like when I saw that, like my brain registered like, oh, they're wearing colored contacts. And I was like,
the eyes.
Oh my God. Like, wow. Like, wow. And then it just, there was something about that was like, I have to in my life at some point be blue. Like I have to use like blue. Like there's just something about it. And you know what? I did it not too long ago and I was like, damn, I was right. This is so cool. Like,
I was right.
And it is one of those things that I think anyone who wants to or is intrigued by like face paint in any kind of like extension of makeup, but like face paint in the like turning yourself into a non-natural like blue, red, green, so on and so forth, do it. Like anyone who's listening that wants to do, like, please try it, like do it, use what you have, like just give it a go. There's something that happens like when you do that, but to see that and to see it so like it's so cool on screen is like, damn.
And to have in the comic books too, she is one of the most significant like queer characters, has a relationship with a woman who goes by the identity of Destiny, and they've been together for decades. And Raven, who is Mystique, has been like, she has given birth, and then I think she's also shapeshifted into a man, and then like contributed to a child being born that way. So it's this incredible like she has this just incredible sort of queer presence. In the movies, we got a little tiny taste of that. In the second X-Men movie, when Nightcrawler, who's also blue,
I love Nightcrawler.
Oh, by the way, I almost picked him because his look, whether it's that comic book costume, you know, the X-Men animated series costume, or even just Alan Cumming in the movie, the makeup.
When you see like that little tiny little blip of him when it's like kind of scary, literally seeing that as a child, I was like, who is that? Who is that? Like, it's so cool.
They added the added texture to his character,
because little tiny scar.
And he goes, it's every one of my sins. You're like, oh, they added so much.
Oh, brother, what's going on here? Like, oh, yeah.
So good. But then he's talking to Mystique, who he doesn't know in the comic books is his biological mother. But in the movie, he goes like, they say that you can become anyone and you can disguise them and mimic them. Why aren't you in disguise all the time? And she just goes, because we shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Dude.
Like,
that's the look.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Anyway,
if I could stand up and do a cartwheel, I would.
All time.
Yeah.
All right.
Mystique,
Now, Adam, we're going to go old school with this one. Silver Age, classic. I mean, one of the all-time comic book costumes. But if you wanted to change any of these, you guys can. I'm just giving you what I brought.
Yeah.
But
this is going to be the Flash.
I mean, yeah.
Get out of here. Here we go. The Flash.
The Flash.
He runs like this. He goes fast. He runs. I mean,
talk about less is more for this character.
Yeah.
Truly.
Really. Anytime they try to add more shit, we added the little yellow lines.
Yeah.
Stop. You're doing too
Honestly,
much.
the only time, I feel like the only time where they've added stuff and made the suit more complex, where I thought it did work surprisingly, was in Zack Snyder's Justice League movie.
Where
Because they're using like all that NASA like rocket ship armor. I thought I was like, oh, that's a smart way to do it.
You know what I like? There's a Frank Miller comic book, Dark Knight Strikes Back, where they had the Flash a little bit older. He changed his costume to black, but he still had the yellow on it. And then he had shorts. He had little slutty shorts on.
That.
Okay.
Dude, I don't know why.
5-inch shorts?
Bro, they were like...
How far
they were like,
did they go?
Shorty.
Little summer shorts.
I'm into it. I want to see a
And I
picture.
don't know why seeing his legs, this white man's like bare legs, and you know a little bit of hair on his legs with his little
His
like
blood flow?
running shoes. I was like, why isn't he in shorts?
It's
all the
because you're
time?
friends with Alex Puccinelli.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Alex loves
Listen,
You never met our buddy Alex, but
The
you would
sun
love
is
Alex
bright,
Puccinelli.
so the thighs are tight. I just I
Yeah.
don't know why.
that was
I like
one of his favorite things.
That's one of my favorite alternate Flash costumes, but it does not beat the original.
And the boots. Like,
Yeah.
can we could talk about boots that characters have had for probably 5,000 years because
Yeah.
they're so boots. Like,
Okay.
platform boots with characters.
I mean, you're wearing some right now.
That's true. I do.
Excellent.
It's a real butt kicker.
Is the platform boots part of your look, you would say? Would you
Oh,
is that
for sure.
something
Oh, yeah.
Is that something that you have attached to and will always wear?
I hope to, yes.
Yeah.
I love platforms. I have loved like heels and wedges, but I think that stems from like seeing Bratz doll shoes when I was little. And then also seeing again, like back to Van Helsing, like there's just when characters have cool
Frankenstein
big
had his
boots.
huge
Yeah,
boots.
I love those boots. And like it's just
Like the Munsters?
yes,
Yeah.
and there's like
Yeah.
and I just think there's usually like Gothic or Dracula or any kind of like those kind of characters, like they usually always have cool shoes. Witches usually have cool shoes too. I'm not a big on like the pointy toed, but sometimes
Sometimes it works.
but boots, seriously, and even like a thigh high, mid high, small cap, like anything. But a platform boot really is.
I can't wear anything that is a platform or anything high because otherwise these two will look like my little children.
Yeah, yeah.
You can wear whatever you want, Adam.
Yeah,
we
we
already
cool.
look like
You know
we
what,
already
Adam?
look like your children.
Yeah.
We'll wear our platforms out
There you go,
sometime.
perfect.
Then, you know,
Wonderful.
you
You can wear whatever you want, Adam.
As much
Don't
as
let
I-
us- don't let us stop you.
So maybe I misread the text, but you originally I thought said superheroes.
That's fine.
If there's a villain,
If I would swap out Flash with anyone, it would be the Joker.
hell yeah.
of course,
S
iconic.
tier design.
Which
Yes.
one or all of them?
Kind of all
Just
of them.
across
Kind
the
of all
board,
of them?
yeah.
Because,
Well,
like-
not the Jared Leto one. We can.
No.
I didn't even think about him for a second. Actually,
Yeah, I
I'm so
didn't
sorry
think
about
about
that.
it at
just
all.
doesn't exist.
I think
That just doesn't
anything
exist.
that is like that silhouette, because the thing I always think of is Batman the Animated Series, where he has like that slick back hair.
Yeah.
That's kind of in a point in the back.
Yes.
Little quaff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then I
And-
feel like the
and-
purple, green, orange, that motif is
Just
so
him-
iconic to the
Him
Joker.
wearing like a tuxedo, like a nice
Yeah.
suit with, penguin tail, like that, but it's all
Yeah.
purple, is the funniest, coolest, scariest thing.
Yes.
That's a nice suit. You ought to know you bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Enough
the Jack
with the
Nicholson
clown.
Joker suit, I'm like, yeah, this all looks really clean.
The stripes on
we
the
could talk about
pants.
suits for a very long time too.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my favorite suits of all time is John Wick.
Oh, that's a
yeah.
great
Ooh,
suit,
yeah.
Courtney.
That is the reason. Like
Little skinny tie.
I have always wanted to have like a well fitted, like actual, like nice suit. Listen, I got Goodwill blazers that I do love, but like someday I aspire to have like a 3-piece all black suit. I want that John Wick suit.
I forced Adam to go to the Callejones to go get a suit tailored
Yeah.
for my wedding.
Yeah.
I can show you a place where it's cheap and it's good.
Well, when are you free next? Because
we'll
let's
do it.
go.
We'll go
What are you
do
doing
it.
at
We will
12?
Yeah,
go
like-
do it. Yeah. Because you kind of need a Mexican escort to get to that part.
All right, yeah, take me.
Because it's like the historic Mexican like tailored alley
I'm
in
ready.
downtown LA.
Why the fuck did I go by myself?
Because you look Mexican, dog.
All right,
That's
good
true.
enough.
You look like my
Honorary.
brother. That's why.
I'll take it.
Honorary. And in Predator 2, that's where they had that gang shootout right there.
Oh God.
Predator 2, very bad movie.
Very bad movie.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, no.
Don't watch
good.
that one.
Guys, my next pick is the greatest superhero costume of all time. It's
Hey.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Undoubtedly the top of every list.
Yes.
The top of everything. It's. I mean, what can you add to the conversation that will?
I'll
It's
just, all right. I'll just say that, well, there's two things. Number one, the design by itself. I think just visually, it is the perfect superhero costume because typically superhero costumes are almost like a nude figure, man or woman, a nude human being with
Skin tight.
with to show off the musculature and the sort of ideal body type, but with bright, colorful colors like circus clothing or like, circus strongman. That's where that initial sort of Superman costume came from. And I think Spider-Man's has that, plus a design that is cool. And when you're like a little kid, it's like a little scary because it's like spiders are scary. Spider-Man, but he makes it not scary. He almost looks clownish, but it's also like the big eyes and you can't tell, if it's quite human, the way he's posed, the way he's drawn.
But then you get that personality.
The personality is all part of it. I just think that it's just like, it perfectly suits him because Spider-Man, this superhero character, he is not the darker character like a Batman, but he's not quite the upstanding, moral character like a Captain America or Superman. He's kind of right that, he's hunted by the cops. He's trying to do the right thing, but he is somebody who will save kids. He's got a good heart always. He's always trying to do the right thing. Nothing tops it. This look is corny, but it's also badass because we impose on him like this dude's brave and we know what he goes through. I don't know. There's not too much I can add to it. I need to stop rambling. Even the variations where it's like, does he have the webbing under the armpits? Great.
Yeah.
Does he
Yeah.
have, the variations were like the black costume Spider-Man that
I think
eventually
that's the only
Yeah.
one that tops it.
the Venom, it really arguably tops it. Incredible design, and then plus leading to the story. But the other thing I'll say too that I think is a thing that I didn't discover or realize until I was an adult is the thing that happens in Spider-Verse. Anyone can wear the mask. There's no skin tone shown
Right.
with this character. So anybody with any background as a child can kind of imagine themselves underneath the mask. Man or woman, black, brown, Asian, white, anything can kind of imagine that they're Spider-Man. So perfect superhero costume. That's what I got there.
It's also very just clean.
It's clean,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
The look is clear, crisp, and clean. And Augustine's next one, I did not have a action figure representation of this. So you're gonna have to talk about it, but I brought for you your other guy. If it's not Doctor Doom,
It's Wolverine.
this is
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
I
this
mean,
is your
the
guy.
guy.
But specifically,
specifically the brown and yellow suit variant. Have you seen the brown and yellow suit variant?
I feel like yes.
You might have. It's like
John Byrne
it's-
one.
Yeah, the John Byrne one.
if you saw the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman wears
yeah.
it for a
Yes.
second as he
Yeah.
pops his claws and then he's about to fight the Hulk.
Yes.
So that, it does. He doesn't have
This
the
is
big
cool,
shoulder pads.
but this is very basic color wheel.
Very-
kind of primary colors. Like a hunter would not wear this out in the woods.
Yeah.
You know what?
Unless
You're
he
right.
wants to fuck around
Right?
and find
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like Wolverine would because nothing's gonna kill him. him.
Yeah.
But if
it's fine if you see him coming, he's still gonna get the job done.
he's still gonna get the job done. But with the brown and the tan and like the little bit of burnt orange that he's got on there,
they always draw him in the woods. With that costume,
exactly.
And you're like, exactly. That dude is of the woods.
I'm a big outdoorsman. I love being outside, and that just like speaks to me.
You were like, ooh, okay.
He's out there.
Oh,
He's
I love
out there.
that.
That's my vibe.
Yeah.
So that was one of those moments where you're like, watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I also was gravitated towards Wolverine as a kid because I thought he was Mexican. Because he was short.
That makes total sense.
He was short, he was hairy.
Okay.
And none of the other characters looked like him. And I was like,
they
who
didn't
is this
understand
guy?
him.
Yeah, my dad is short and hairy. Like, is this
You're like,
Dad, you have
Mexican
claws?
like me?
well, and that's an important thing, I think, with all of this too. Like, it's important to see like representation, but also to put yourself in. Like, anyone who's watching, to be able to put yourself into the whatever verse we're in, especially when it is like superheroes and stuff like that. And I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
Adam picked the all-timer right here.
Damn, yeah.
Look at that chest. Jesus Christ.
This is
That's
like,
boy.
That's like 4 feet across. That's 4 feet across right here, dude.
Yeah, damn.
this fool is as wide as he is tall.
So, yeah, for sure.
This fool definitely built like a hockey player.
Built like a billboard.
God
dog.
damn.
The last son of
Look at that boy.
Krypton, Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
Adam, talk to us about why he's your number one pick. I mean, again, it's a case of what can you add to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the suit it's so simplistic, but it has every single piece to really make it work well. The colors are balanced really nicely. And we talk about this, especially with the new Superman movie, where like the underwear, man.
The chonies
The
make
chonies
it.
really break
The
up
chonies
all
gotta
the
be
blue,
on, yeah.
And it really balances the colors of the suit. It's like stepping. It's like you have the shield, the underoos, and then the boots, and then
Yep.
the cape ties it together, and it's all surrounded by blue and gold.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect the way it is.
Yeah.
It feels really powerful. You don't look at it and you go, this guy wears underwear. It's silly.
Yeah.
You don't even
That's
think about
not the
it.
first thing that pops out.
No,
absolutely
You're
not.
like, this dude has the balls to wear his underwear on the outside. This dude must be cool as fuck.
Well said. Well, to bring it back to some other picks that Courtney had, because I also texted Courtney, I was like, whatever you've got, looks, fashion, outfits, makeup, anything that you could, in the superhero world or whatever. You mentioned Arcane, which is like
S tier.
S tier. You mentioned the movie Van Helsing, which I loved. I don't think you mentioned Underworld. But
I didn't mention Underworld
Okay.
because I technically haven't seen all of them.
that's fine. You've seen an image. You've seen a poster.
Oh.
That's Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
I
Some
mean,
Blu-rays from us.
dude.
Yeah.
And I've seen, I think, the first two.
Got it. But that era of like Underworld, and then you go over to like The Matrix with all the black leather
yep.
and their boots and the coats,
Yep.
and then you go over to Blade, Wesley
Yo.
Snipes. Dude,
Oh, that's a look and a half.
catches the glasses, puts them on after he kills the guy, grabs his glass.
The Blood Rave.
Oh,
Blood
my
Rave.
God.
I bumped that all the
We got a lot of movies to watch.
Yeah. It sounds
one of
like
my-
we got to
that's-
do some screenings.
That's one of my favorite things that Courtney does is that noise she just did, where there's been times where I've seen Courtney will be like emotional, talking about like an amazing milestone that she's just achieved.
sure.
And to prevent yourself from crying, you go,
I have no idea what happens. I don't know.
You'll start tearing up and you go, woo! Like,
Oh yeah, no, because we were talking about Arcane, like on the way to the Arcane thing, we were talking
Yeah.
about something, and I won't spoil anything just in case.
like
but
emotional moments
It's
with
all- you
Arcane,
can-
yeah,
right?
and I was
Spoil
like,
it, it's fine.
ooh, like it's just like yeah, she'd be like, hold on, give me a second, wait.
The emotions
Yeah.
coming up real
Yeah.
strong.
Oh my gosh. But Courtney also picked some great Marvel characters that we got to talk about. Their great posing. Dude, great posing. And also, I saw you
Come on,
do
brother.
Wolverine with Carnage. Great posing across the board.
I was doing it because I knew you were.
Been
I'm
doing
very
this
proud
since
of
I
you
was
guys.
3. Come on.
Courtney,
Come on.
this is almost a twofer, I feel like.
Yes.
Sisters, you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about-
interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Nebula and Gamora. Because
let's talk, Courtney.
their makeup is incredible.
Yes.
And the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Karen Gillan shaved her head to
Yes.
put on, and then the subsequent ones, she didn't have to, but it was still makeup. We couldn't tell the difference. Zoe Saldana as Gamora. That makeup is beautiful and looks like otherworldly and alien race, but her look with her hair, beautiful, stunning.
Oh,
all the leather, all of the different Gamora looks. Even the most recent one where it was like an alternate Gamora, but you had like
Right.
different hairstyle, still look all great. But talk to us about why these came to your mind when thinking about like makeup and fashion.
Again, it wasn't really one that I had to like. These just popped in my head because this was the green with the red tipped hair and like the outfits and everything. Everything about these characters, it was like I saw and I was like, bing, like my eyes went like sparkly and I was like, wow. And again, because they're beautiful, but also like because it was so well done that I almost couldn't think about either of them as people outside of the character. And I love when that happens. I love when that happens. I think that really, to me, holds a special place for like just actors in general and actresses just like getting into a role. But I don't know, like I can't explain it. Even when I did like a Gamora inspired look and her lip is like almost non-existent because of the way that it's just like green is green, but it's purposeful. Like everything I feel like, even from like the panels and like the purple, it feels very intentional to the design, which I would argue that all characters should always be. But like it feels so distinct in my head. It feels so like, oh yeah, duh. But again, going back to like, sometimes if you want to turn yourself green or if you want to turn yourself blue, I say you should do it. I say you give it a go. But yeah, I don't know. They feel like solid characters in my brain.
It's like very natural to what they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 100%. A perfect execution. Because as you're talking about it, you're making me think, like you're reminding me, like these characters will go through different design iterations when they're trying to work everything out just on the page at first.
Yes.
So even like the concept designer will be like, okay, Gamora has green skin, so we're thinking like this. And I have like the Guardians of the Galaxy art books, the making of, and you'll see different iterations, and it's like, does she have more face tattoos or sort of markings? Does she have less? Does she have more? You know, what's her hair going to look like? They do all these iterations. Then when they finally get to something that a director or somebody will go, yes, let's go with this. You still have to actually execute it in person on the actor.
Yes.
And so that's when the makeup and effects people will come in and actually get everything to work. And you're right, they're probably going through different iterations of lipstick shade to get either closer to the initial design, or once they do the design in person and it doesn't work, they're like, back to the drawing board. Like, we got to figure out why this doesn't look good. What can we do to make it look more naturalistic or more otherworldly or whatever the intention is?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Wait, do we have more for Courtney?
I don't know. I think those were all of your. I mean, if there's anything else you wanted to talk about,
I do have a couple questions because we don't get
for it.
I don't get to talk about horror enough on this podcast.
Yes,
Can't leave without bringing up some horror stuff.
Yes.
What are some of your most favorite? It doesn't have to necessarily be just strictly makeup related, but what are some of your favorite looks for a horror character? Could be movie or TV show. Could be serial killer.
Is this where we're getting into werewolf talk, by the way?
I mean, we could. We absolutely could, yes.
TV show, actually, Courtney did bring up something that we didn't talk about. Go for it.
Yes, there is a section of work that I feel like we could all talk about a lot of. The Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass.
Let's go.
The Fall of the House of Usher is a little less than, not like less than and like it's less than for me, but like I think of it less for makeup and stuff. It has like a sepia tone over it. That's like what my brain thinks of when I think of that one. But specifically, Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass. Yeah. Some of my favorite things that I feel like I've ever had the pleasure of watching, but also visually, like seeing just the tiniest little details with like the bent neck lady and like her makeup. And I felt like I was just like just, oh my God, like I could not stop thinking about it. And like, it was even like, you know, the woman of the lake, she comes out of the water and it's just like, and like to do that kind of a look under elements and the lighting and the way that it's shot, and like horror films always look so cool. Like they always have, well, maybe not always because there's some bad ones out there, but like there is a like, I love like the blue hues that happen with that actually was an inspiration behind like a shade of makeup that I made, like these blue tones that are in makeup. It's just, I just really love it. So
Mike Flanagan for the win.
Excellent.
Mike Flanagan's great.
All of his stuff is great. Yeah,
actually, it reminded me of Dr. Sleep.
Yeah,
because when I went to go see Dr. Sleep and they cut to Jack Torrance's character, I could not for the life of me figure out who it was, because the makeup, they really made Henry Thomas look like Jack Nicholson.
And it's the dad from
and I was like,
Hill House.
who the fuck is this?
And it's
like,
the kid from E.T.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy, dude. And they
I
made him
know
look
it was
like
the
Jack
makeup
Nicholson.
that really made him look different. Really well done.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Can we talk about the day you got bit by a werewolf?
Yeah, what happened
about that?
Are you talking because I actually got bit by a dog? That's actually a story.
Did you really?
Yes.
Stop.
It's a horrible tale. It's very sad.
Oh,
we
I'm
won't
sorry.
talk
Okay,
about
we
it.
can talk about it.
But I do really love werewolf stuff in particular, which is a little ironic because I did get bit by a dog pretty badly.
Maybe there's some psychology there. Maybe there's some psychology there.
Because I liked them beforehand. It's like when people ask me why I'm afraid of sharks, they're like, is it because of Jaws? And I'm like, I actually didn't watch that until way later in life.
You were afraid of sharks already.
Just absolutely petrified. I can't talk talk about it. It makes me a little sweaty.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like it's so irrational that like sometimes if I'm like washing my hands and I think about them, I'm like, I gotta step away from this thing. It's bad.
Like
it's
washing
so
the
bad.
dishes?
I'm
You
like,
can't do
I think
this.
I
This
don't.
thing's plugging up. The shark's coming.
Oh,
You start
Lord,
going,
please.
whoa, 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 whoa,
No,
whoa, whoa,
it
whoa,
literally
whoa,
do.
whoa, whoa.
Sometimes I'm in the shower washing my hair and I'm like, like it's just
The shark could get in here.
It's very irrational. There's no part of me that is saying like, oh yeah, this makes sense, and but like it's bad.
It's a feeling.
I can't play video games with sharks in them, and I've tried. And
Subnautica?
Ooh,
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Lord, even
You
the
would love Deep
trailers.
Blue Sea.
Bioshock, maybe?
I even thought I should watch The Shallows. I haven't played Bioshock, but I want to really bad. I know.
It's all underwater. Don't do it.
It's all underwater.
Don't.
I know, and it just. I even tried. There was a game that I tried recently, and it was supposed to be like a cute little.
Yeah,
like,
Courtney gets to
swim,
the Mario
and I'm like,
water level. She's like, no, what the
Get me out of here! yeah. But yeah. So
Not today.
the werewolf stuff, I don't actually know why, but it kind of goes into like my
Courtney,
favorite character in Elden Ring.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hey, this is a cool
interesting.
character. We don't see too much of that character, though.
Don't get me started.
Right? I feel like because I've
Augustine's
played
a big Elden Ring
I've played
gamer.
I've put almost 300 hours into my character at this point. I've played so much of that, and I love wearing his armor. But you don't necessarily get too much of that character as he is. He just stands there like a hot werewolf dude, and just you fight him, and that's kind of it.
How dare you bring it down to just that?
Well, that's all I feel like I got from only because
fair.
I don't have that attachment. But
Yeah, see, I don't know.
I heard Augustine say that. He just stands there. I look over and Courtney goes, well, like,
I mean,
what do you want?
you do help him in one mission.
You do.
Sure.
And then you kind of fight him in another mission. But like,
I thought it was because you were just Team Jacob.
Well, that was
Oh,
true
you're
too, because
you are
Edward freaked me out.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
then Jacob freaked me out for other reasons. But
Yeah, 'cause
Twilight's
Jacob-
just
I
horrible
was-
and wonderful at the same time. So like, yeah.
Horrible and wonderful at the same time. Jacob, I was Team Jacob until he imprinted on that baby. Let's be real.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
And clock it. Okay, that's weird.
That's the moment where you
Yeah.
go, nah, dude.
I've
nah.
still never seen those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be in theaters.
Adam.
Let's all go. Let's go.
Adam.
they're re-releasing them, Adam.
I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's talk about your favorite boy, the Van Helsing werewolf.
Yes,
Let's talk about that guy
Yes.
and why you like that werewolf and what exactly it
Big,
is
beefy,
about.
design,
Well,
cool, claws.
I think specifically there are two ways that you can go sometimes. Well, two major ways that you can go sometimes with monster design. Sometimes you go really scary, sometimes you go really sexy. I like a little medium with it.
Both.
I like a little bit of both.
Medium.
Because sometimes this happened in a game that I played recently, and I don't want to spoil it because if anyone plays this game, it's a fantastic game. So I'll leave the name, but I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
But in this game, there are werewolves, and it's a game I play every year. I love it so much. It's fantastic. But the werewolves to me are very scary and odd looking, and if you don't have the structure of like a wolf, I think it has to do with like the snout and the ears, and when all of that kind of gets thrown off, there's something about that I'm like, but damn, it looks more like a bat, or it looks more like Dracula. It leans more into other characters and design than I would like it to be with werewolves, and that's just my personal opinion. But I do with the first time I saw Van Helsing werewolf, I was like, that's my favorite thing. I love that thing.
It was your werewolf awakening.
I love that thing. And
so
I
that's
was
the
just
day
like,
you got bit by a werewolf.
yep,
Yeah.
sure is. But I think it just, there's a lot of different takes. I recently also saw American Werewolf in London for the first
Yeah,
time.
I was literally
What'd you
just
think?
thinking about that.
Yeah. And
Pretty messed up.
yeah, my God. Good Lord. At the end, I was like,
Gnarly,
oh,
yeah.
Lord, oh my God. And then I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, all right. So yeah, not to spoil, but yeah, I thought I like when it's actually more werewolf than anything else. Like undeniably, like that's a werewolf.
Got it.
Because sometimes it gets a little like, what are we doing here?
When you see a tall, thin, lanky, like lichen, you're like, I don't get this out of here. And then when you see Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf, you're like, okay, that's cute, but get that out of here.
Yeah.
You want right in the schmiddle of that.
Question: how do we feel about Michael Jackson's Thriller werewolf?
Too dancey. Dance is too much.
I liked. Well, I think my connection with that when I saw that music video very young at like I was at like a dance competition and they played it, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah,
like it was so weird and scary that I was just like, I loved it. So I don't think anything can really touch that because it's like its own little thing.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I like it. I like how it kind of has like the silvery kind of hair in it. I think like the whiskers are a little too long, but I like it.
Sure, yeah.
I like that they're so long.
It's a little
It's just
freaky.
I just feel like and this is not a slight on Michael Jackson, he's just a smaller built man.
Sure.
So when you see the head on him, it's like a really big head, and it's like Michael
like a
Jackson's, Michael Jackson's
Yeah.
body.
It's like Nightwing with the skinny legs.
Yeah. Bringing it back to superheroes and werewolves. If you've never
Yes.
seen the 1994 movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson,
I have
James
not.
Spader, Michelle Pfeiffer, that's an interesting movie to watch.
I have not. Should I watch it? I should watch
You should.
it. Yeah.
You should watch it, and I'd love to know what you think about the movie, but also the design.
I will report back.
Because Jack Nicholson, like a wolf, is kind of freaky.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We're almost out of time, but I do want to say one thing, Courtney. One of my favorite things about your content is that you are a makeup influencer, but you're also not afraid to show your face without makeup.
Oh.
And I think that's so important. And I think that's
you do the process,
a really cool thing that more people should normalize, because I grew up in the 90s, in the time where makeup and your physical
Please let's not get into how
looks
old we are again.
were everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think that what you're doing is important to people who are getting into this kind of stuff, because makeup can be seen as like a huge mask to hide things and
I certainly
not
use it
show
as one.
yourself.
Yeah. Like,
But you show your face without it, and I think that's awesome.
I appreciate you saying that. I think it honestly took a long time, like many years, because I used to make makeup content on accounts that I had way back when, and there were even times at certain periods in my life where I wouldn't go anywhere without makeup, and I'm talking like a lot of makeup, and I think the thing that I find most comforting in makeup, there's like two things, there's like two pillars with makeup that I really hold dear, is the self-expression of it all is very important. And when you kind of like, this is just me like kind of projecting and talking about it, but like I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way, but when you kind of grow up and you have a lot of self-hatred and like a lot of loathing for like, oh, and I don't look like this, and this is what I'm shown that I need to look like, and how come I don't, and I have these things, and how come I can't, and there's like this stuff. And then there's a thing that happens, hopefully, where you start to accept how you look, period, point blank. And when that happened for me, it was not too long ago, a couple years ago, I was like, I can't let that part of me be like the bad part. That's too mean. It's too much.
Wow.
And so when I do like a makeup look, I feel like I'm like kind of like dressing up as a character for a day. Instead of having that be the only thing that I show, it's everything. So it's every version of myself in the makeup that I do that I really try to like talk about and just kind of bring in. Because there were many, and there are still days, but there were many years that I could not even look in the mirror and just accept that. And I think it's really hard, especially with how social media is today, and just particularly in the makeup and beauty realm. But it's not lost on just that. Like people who are everywhere deal with this. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Well, I didn't even finish my thought, but the first thing is the self-expression. The second thing is the connection to the community and just humans at large. Because I think when you can enjoy something that might seem as small as like eyeliner, but then you meet someone that's like, I love eyeliner too. And there's this thing that happens between like humans when you have these shared common like little tiny little joys. And again, not to be like life is worth living, but like it really is so beautiful. It is so wonderful to think back to, you know, thousands of years ago. And I think makeup and a version of makeup has always existed, will always exist, so long as there's a planet and we have cognitive thoughts. But like, it really is something that I think stretches space and time and is really beautiful. And I romanticize the hell out of it because like, what's the point if you don't, kind of thing. But it is really cool to see. It is really cool to see like people celebrate the same shade that like, you know, maybe someone they knew or a family member or something like this, or a friend, or like, you know, I've had makeup that friends have given me that I treasure it. It feels like gold to me. Like it really is beautiful. But I think knowing that makeup isn't the only thing about me, and it is okay to kind of show up as both and all forms, like, is really cool. So I really appreciate you saying that. That's very sweet.
Yeah,
it really means a lot.
You're awesome because of that. And
welcome to the family.
The stuff.
Hey, yeah.
That was so well said. I was getting emotional. I was like, whoa, 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 let me tell you something. Yahweh.
Okay, so before we go, also, you have your own shades and you have all this stuff. Where can people find all of your products and if they want to follow you and everything?
Also, shout out to Courtney Quarantine's community. Shout out to the Ferals.
Yeah,
y'all know who you are.
Yeah,
shout out to the Ferals. You guys are great. Yeah,
talk
about.
So tell us about all that.
Anything you'd like to promote and shout out.
Sure. You can find me anywhere, Courtney Quarantine, or if it's too long, it's Quarantine. But I do stream. We're getting into scary season, so I'll be streaming a lot of my favorite games. Little Nightmares 3 is coming up, so I on Twitch, you can find me under Courtney Quarantine, Instagram, Courtney Quarantine. I'm like every platform, just usually Courtney Quarantine or Quarantine. But I do make makeup. I had a collab recently drop with Unearthly Cosmetics, and those are custom shades that I made, which I really do love. And then I also have a couple of collections with Mob Beauty, which is really cool, and I love them so very much. And might have some other things up my sleeve. I maybe have unreleased shades with me right now that I can show you.
What?
Ooh, okay.
We'll do that after, though. Yeah. But anyway, that's me.
That's very cool. Yeah. That's very cool. Well, Hector, close us out, buddy. Say
right,
thank you. Say thank you.
Thank
He's
you.
over here making his figurines.
Say thank you to your guest.
Thanks, man. Thanks,
Thank you so much.
Seriously, thank you so much for being here. If I may say, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for having me. It is really, really cool. It is an honor to be here, and y'all rock, and you are the coolest. So thank you so much.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Guys, be sure to follow Courtney Quarantine wherever you're following the people that you're looking at on social media. And that's it. We'll be back next week. We've got another great episode lined up for you next week. We're going to be talking about the X-Men in the MCU. Thanks for letting me bring my toys. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Heroes Reforged is gonna react. Heroes Reforged is gonna review. Heroes Reforged is gonna discuss. That's why we are watching.